There's more bad news for UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. In the same week, an Ipsos poll found more than 50% of people feel disappointed.
Ordinary people across Britain see how bad things are. They can see that we don't have control of the boats. They can see...
Picture this. It's a typical evening news broadcast. Liz Truss, the former PM, is being interviewed about her new book. Suddenly, she drops a bombshell about Keir Starmer that leaves the nation stunned. In the following hours, Labour HQ descends into chaos. Phone lines are jammed, crisis meetings are called, and Starmer's team scrambles to contain the damage. But is it already too late? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Westminster is reeling from Liz Truss's sudden ascent to the political limelight. A seemingly innocuous interview on Sky News has escalated into a political storm with the potential to alter the course of British politics forever.
In terms of how they've handled the last 100 days, could do better. I mean, they won an impressive outcome in terms of the general election.
No, and he got in with a very low proportion of the vote. He got in by default because people were unhappy with the Conservatives.
Nobody saw the bombshell coming from Truss as she got comfortable in her chair. After a short and turbulent period at the helm of the country, the former Prime Minister mostly faded from public view. However, she was once again at the epicenter of a scandal, this time as the bearer of explosive accusations against Labour leader Keir Starmer. A tremor went across the political sphere as soon as Truss made his accusations. The specifics are still murky, but those in the know say Starmer is facing major ethical violations that might spell the end of his political career. Within minutes, social media went into overdrive, with just Truss allegations trending across the country as rumors circulated freely. Analysts in the field of politics wasted no time weighing in. Some questioned Truss's intentions, thinking she was trying to repair her reputation by making her detractors the center of attention. Some people thought it was an attempt to throw the Labour Party for a loop right before the election. The political establishment is in utter chaos as a result of Truss's strategy, whether that was his goal or not. Reports indicate that members of the Labour Party are frantically trying to come up with a solution that will help Starmer's leadership and reputation withstand the possible fallout.
Have had enough of a police state after 2 million people signed a petition calling for another general election.
How about this for a number? Just 17% of the public think that this Labour government are doing a good job.
To adjust our policies. I am somebody who's prepared to front up. I'm prepared to take the tough decisions.
The significance for Starmer's professional trajectory is immense. Allegations like this might further damage his already low approval ratings if they don't already. As new information becomes available and the Labour leader decides how to react, the next several days will be pivotal. Every aspect of public conversation has taken a whole new turn since Truss's interview. Formerly preoccupied with economic policy and the aftermath of Brexit, media outlets have shifted their focus to covering this emerging controversy non-stop. The possible consequences have political talk shows scrambling to reschedule their guests. Now that the immediate shock has subsided, the focus is shifting to Starmer's track record and reputation. In light of his diligent efforts to project an image of honesty and openness, how will these claims affect his reputation? Examining Starmer's fall from grace as Labour's greatest hope to a leader besieged is necessary for grasping the complete significance of Truss's assertions. Do you recall the days when Keir Starmer was proclaimed the savior of the Labour Party. Now we're in the present day, and that armour is looking very worn. As a cautionary story of misguided politics, Starmer's downfall is replete with fancy eyewear and corporate gifts. However, how could everything fall apart so dramatically? Promising stability and honesty following years of anarchic Tory administration propelled Starmer to the position of Labour leader.
I think they just hadn't really thought through. I think they're prepared for government. I think they've got lots of policies and good ideas, some of it to do with employment rights that you've...
Just as energy prices are going up here in the UK. So it's a disastrous start for his government.
A leader with principles who could restore faith in the system, he portrayed himself as the remedy for political unrest. Many people identified with his core policy beliefs, which included a desire for the Labour Party to start anew, an emphasis on leadership openness, and an obligation to ethical governance. However, deeds, not words, are what really matter, as the ancient adage states, and Starmer's carefully constructed persona has been more and more belied by his behaviour. Consider the scandal that surrounded his acceptance of expensive gifts as an example. The fact that Starmer had been seen wearing fashionable spectacles valued at roughly $2,500 caused eyebrows to furrow. Reports of the Labour leader receiving expensive hospitality and seats to prominent events from corporate sponsors followed this revelation shortly after. These occurrences, which may not appear significant when taken individually, have added to the widespread belief that Starmer is disconnected from the average voter. His once lauded disciplined leadership style is now said to be too timid and disjointed. He previously swore a vow to unite the people with their elected representatives, but now he is deeply embedded in the same powerful political establishment he opposed. According to Starmer's approval ratings, public trust is quickly dwindling. A whopping 61% of voters are unhappy with his leadership, according to recent polls. His capacity to steer Labour into the next general election is seriously called into question by this precipitous fall. Rumours of a possible leadership crisis are spreading like wildfire among party insiders, who are supposedly getting increasingly agitated. Perhaps Starmer's political career will come to an end due to Liz Truss's bombshell revelation. Starmer was accused by Truss of having an extramarital affair with a senior member of his staff in her explosive live TV interview. If this accusation turns out to be true, Starmer's carefully crafted reputation for honesty and family values would be shattered. The latest scandal has far-reaching implications for British politics and is causing Westminster to reel. In this age of unprecedented public scrutiny, Starmer's possible demise prompts inquiries into the character of political leadership and the party's long-term prospects. Are we doomed to a never-ending cycle of disappointment? Or can any politician genuinely fulfill the high ideals they proclaim? What will happen to British politics after this most recent political earthquake has passed? Questions concerning accountability and honesty at the highest levels have been brought to light by the Truss-Starmer scandal, which has revealed significant flaws in our political system. Is it possible for people to have faith in their leaders again? On the other hand, will scandal and disillusionment always be with us? People are getting tired of seeing the same old drama unfold, and their tolerance is beginning to wear thin. Maybe we need to reevaluate our methods for selecting and evaluating political leaders. Obviously, the tried-and-true strategy of relying on spin and damage control isn't working anymore. Looking ahead, one thing stands out. The British people want real change, not merely platitudes and carefully constructed identities. Even if this most recent scandal stops making news, it will still have an effect. It's another sobering reminder that in politics, the truth has a tendency of catching up with you, sometimes when you least expect it. For Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, the road ahead appears rocky indeed.